Hi, my name is Shazib Kazmi, and if I am selected as a DSC lead, my club would be based on these three ideas: inclusive, practical, and casual. So I believe that nobody owns the rights to education and it should be open to everybody. So my club activities would be open to all the students in my campus so that I can reach as many students and impact as many lives as possible. Second is practical. So as the idea behind DSC that we should bridge the gap between theory and practice, so my club would place a heavy emphasis on the practical knowledge of students, because in the real world practical skills are more important than the theoretical part which are being taught in our classrooms. Lastly, casual. So in our classrooms the relationship between students and teachers is quite formal, which keeps students from asking the real questions which they want. The peer-to-peer nature of our club would ensure that students can ask the question which they truly want to really clear their ideas, and that would be the community which I would build if I am selected as a DSC lead.
Developer student clubs train thousands of student developers globally and work with their communities to solve real-life problems. Google selects amazing students from across the globe once a year to be a developer student club lead and start a club on their campus. These leads believe knowledge is power and that technology can do extraordinary things for the world. They take on the responsibility to help students learn and empower these students to solve real problems around them. Join us in building a global community for students.
I'm really excited about this summit because I get to learn a lot of new stuff, and DSC really helps me to identify and make my skills grow.
DSCs are university-based student groups that come together and learn Google technology from each other.
In DSC, I could not only learn about technical skills related about technology, but also here I could learn about soft skills like leadership, communication, and also mentoring.
I've been developing NLP-based web applications at school, and with the Google technologies under the summit, I'm looking forward to taking my project to the next level.
We expanded developer student clubs this year to more universities and more countries across Southeast Asia. It is this summit where their journey begins. Over the next 2 days, DSC leads learn vital technical, problem-solving and leadership skills from Googlers and industry experts before they go back to their universities to train more students, build projects and contribute back to the community.
The most memorable part of this summit is when we met other DSC leads from different countries, learning their culture and sharing the same goal, and that is helping our fellow students with the use of technology.
The sessions that was most useful for me was how to build community, how to focus and respect the audience.
It's crucial that students are able to see the big picture and prepare themselves for their professional career. And that's what DSC does. It gives them a path for the future.
The DSC journey helped me build my passion in one area of technology and grow my career.
We want you to start connecting with, understand your community, understand your university, see what's going on in your city, talk to businesses, talk to NGOs, talk to your university, identify problem statements, and then work as a group to solve those problems and actually build solutions.
I'd like to make sure that no one in my community is left behind.
We're so excited to work with you all DSC leads from across the region, to see your career grow and support you solve local problems and create impact in your communities.
When I came to first year, I found it difficult navigating a lot of facilities on campus. Most first year students, they found it a major challenge. So I said, okay, this is something that we really need to solve. The DSC is a community where students who are like-minded come together to learn technologies in cloud, Android development, and web development. So after a few workshops, I figured that we could solve accessibility for first year students. We decided to use the more as a use case to build a navigation system using AR technology. At first, people were like, this is really a complex problem to solve. But then after we broke the problem down, we realized that all the technologies we had to use, we had already learned them in our DSC workshops.
When I heard about it, I was like, David, I need to join this project because I was lost basically the entire first academic year. And that's what DSC does. It gives you a project and it makes sure that you are well equipped to work on the project.
So we had a lot of volunteers and we broke them into teams. First, we had a Blender team to get a 3D model of the building. Then we had the Unity and Scripted team who got the models and made it interactive and available to the Android team, who built the screens and the app and used Firebase, which stores user data and for business analytics. And we had the UI team who created the designer set and all the dynamic interfaces you see. Last, we had the documentation team who put everything into one file to make it available to the open source community.
My name is Paul and I study chemistry. I got inspired by attending one of the DSC seminars. I'm actually very impressed about my brother's journey here because as a computer science student, I just have to focus on the PC part, computer building apps, but he has something else to do. But he's still taking some time off to help us and he's really doing a good job. Now I can build Android apps. That means I can use that as a part-time job and maybe chemistry as my full-time job, or maybe the vice versa.
There were times that we had to meet in the evenings, there were times we had to meet early in the morning just to get the project working.
It was hard, but then we looked at the bigger picture and realized that, okay, we can do this, so yeah. DSC is a family and it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
What we've built is not a perfect app, but we've come a long way by being able to use the knowledge that we gain from our DSC workshops. My God, this is cool. Who wouldn't love this?
Saya dilahirkan di Bojonegoro. Ibu saya mendidik saya boleh bermain, tapi bermainnya itu nggak boleh jauh-jauh. Terus saya melihat kakak saya kebanjiran, yang paling parah itu tahun 2007, di mana rumahnya itu sangat tenggelam, banyak korban jiwa yang ditimbulkan, dan kakak saya itu kehilangan.
Kemarin ya lumayan, kemarin. Ya.
Kalau airnya semakin tinggi kan, nggak bisa lalu lintas kendaraan kan nggak bisa lewat, kita biasanya pakai perahu. Palingnya kalau udah agak parah lagi kita ngungsi.
Warga juga pasti resah, kalau enggak sebelumnya belum diberitahu kan resah. Kalau sudah diberitahu kan nanti ada persiapan.
Saya ketika kuliah di PEN sini, saya pertama kali tahu DSC itu dari Dana. Seharusnya kita bisa menghindari hal buruk terjadi ketika kita mengetahui apa yang akan terjadi. Dana membantu saya sekali dalam hal tersebut bersama tim untuk membuat aplikasi L-Float.
Alatnya itu bersifat kayak misal di sini bakalan ada banjir, dari pemerintah bakalan langsung, tidak berdasarkan yang sebelumnya berdasarkan data kami, itu berdasarkan dari WhatsApp. Nanti setelah itu penduduk bisa ke posko terdekat. Di sini ada lokasi-lokasi poskonya. Terus kita bisa kayak ngeset arahnya belok kiri maupun belok kanan itu ada. Karena kita memanfaatkan teknologi arahan juga dari Google. Oke, sudah selesai?
Oke, selesai.
Oke.
Kemudian kita mencoba ke sana, kita menunjukkan ke warga Bojonegoro.
Kalau sekarang kalau ada aplikasi ini kan bisa langsung masuk ke HP-nya masing-masing. Jadi semua warga langsung otomatis langsung tahu.
Di sini kita milih Balai Desa
Mulia Agung,
tujuh arah.
Ya.
Di sini kita bisa lihat di posko ini ada berapa banyak orang.
Membantu banget berarti ya, sangat amat membantu.
Iya. Ini rencana emang akan kami rilis ke Bojonegoro.
Oh gitu ya.
This is the power of DSC students all over the world. We can learn and teaching together and also to solve local problems.
Dengan adanya aplikasi L-Float ini, saya merasa sangat senang sekali saya bisa membantu warga masyarakat Bojonegoro, terutama untuk kakak saya.
Hi, my name is Shazib Kazmi, and if I am selected as a DSC lead, my club would be based on these three ideas: inclusive, practical, and casual. So I believe that nobody owns the rights to education and it should be open to everybody. So my club activities would be open to all the students in my campus so that I can reach as many students and impact as many lives as possible. Second is practical. So as the idea behind DSC that we should bridge the gap between theory and practice, so my club would place a heavy emphasis on the practical knowledge of students, because in the real world, practical skills are more important than the theoretical part which are being taught in our classrooms. Lastly, casual. So in our classrooms, the relationship between students and teachers is quite formal, which keeps students from asking the real questions which they want. The peer-to-peer nature of our club would ensure that students can ask the question which they truly want to really clear their ideas. And that would be the community which I would build if I'm selected as a DSC lead.
Developer student clubs train thousands of student developers globally and work with their communities to solve real-life problems. Google selects amazing students from across the globe once a year to be a developer student club lead and start a club on their campus. These leads believe knowledge is power and that technology can do extraordinary things for the world. They take on the responsibility to help students learn and empower these students to solve real problems around them. Join us in building a global community for students.
I'm really excited about this summit because I get to learn a lot of new stuff, and DSC really helps me to identify and make my skills grow.
DSCs are university-based student groups that come together and learn Google technology from each other.
In DSC, I could not only learn about technical skills related about technology, but also here I could learn about soft skills like leadership, communication, and also mentoring.
I've been developing NLP-based web applications at school, and with the Google technologies under the summit, I'm looking forward to taking my project to the next level.
We expanded developer student clubs this year to more universities and more countries across Southeast Asia. It is this summit where their journey begins. Over the next 2 days, DSC leads learn vital technical, problem-solving and leadership skills from Googlers and industry experts before they go back to their universities to train more students, build projects and contribute back to the community.
The most memorable part of this summit is when we met other DC leads from different countries, learning their culture and sharing the same goal, and that is helping our fellow students with the use of technology.
The sessions that was most useful for me was how to build community, how to focus and respect the audience.
It's crucial that students are able to see the big picture and prepare themselves for their professional career. And that's what DSC does. It gives them a path for the future.
The DSC journey helped me build my passion in one area of technology and grow my career.
We want you to start connecting with, understand your community, understand your university, see what's going on in your city, talk to businesses, talk to NGOs, talk to your university, identify problem statements, and then work as a group to solve those problems and actually build solutions.
I'd like to make sure that no one in my community is left behind.
We're so excited to work with you all DSC leads from across the region, to see your career grow and support you solve local problems and create impact in your communities.
All right. So before anything else, we remember that we are in the holy presence of God, the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us. And Lord, we pray for this event to be successful, and may our participants learn so much that this can be applied to their professional or their future endeavors. And Lord, may this event be meaningful and glorifying to you. And we pray that this event to be success and protect everyone in the comfort of their homes. And Lord, we pray all of this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You're in mute, Kara.
All right. Hello, Philippines.
Hello, world.
I'm Kyra Siniza, the DS lead of the University of San Carlos.
And I'm Fidel Relon Jr., the TSL lead of De La Salle College of St. Benilde.
And we are your hosts for today's Philippine Android Weekend 2020.
So hi guys. So I see that we have viewers from all over the Philippines. I hope you're in the comfort of your own homes. While tuning in our live stream, you can have a cup of coffee or grab your snacks. Please make yourself comfortable.
And to all students or viewers from the different schools, you may mention or shout out your universities or colleges in the comment section. I will try to accommodate some of your shout outs.
All right, keep them coming. Okay, so from Christian Renium. Hello guys from Philska. So guys, we have from Philska here and from Western Mindanao Student University. Share the love.
We also have here JR from DSC USDP. Hello guys.
Hello, hello. Okay, so let's go DSCPH, sabi ni Harvey.
Oh, we also have Sir Shad. Hi, Sir Shad. Good evening.
Yes, Sir
Let's
Shad.
go drive.
Thank you for joining, Sir Shad.
Oh, we also have from WMSU. Shout out from TUP. Hello, guys. I hope you're having a good evening.
Yeah. Okay. So keep them.
Right. Oh,
yeah,
keep
right?
coming. Oh, we also have from CITU, Maria Angelica Guico.
Okay.
And
so we have here from Finmo University of Pangasinan from Angel Diane.
oh, we also have from San Beda University, Manila.
Oh, let's go, Manila. Okay, we have here from DSC FEU Tech. So, kaway-kaway sa mga Far Eastern University Tech. Alright, so, okay. Okay, so we also have from the La Salle University. Okay, so we have a fellow La Sallian here. Okay, so welcome, guys.
Oh, I haven't seen my chapter, I think. Oh, hello from Xavier University and Crystal E College, right? And oh, I see people from Mindanao, Ateneo de Zamboanga. All right, we have so many people already.
Jesuits are here.
We have right. We have a lot from USDP right now, actually. Oh, DSC Crimson. Hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
All right. Hello, Kadevs. Shout out from DSC USDP again.
Okay, all right. So, okay. So, feel free to post photos and snippets on your social media channels and tag at Google Devs and at Google Students using the hashtag Android Study Jams.
Hashtag PH Android Weekend 2020.
Hashtag DSC Philippines.
And also a hashtag Developer Student Clubs.
All right. So, okay, keep them coming. Keeping the comments alive. So yeah.
Oh, hello from Gordon College, from
Hello
RTU.
from Bicol University. So we're being nationwide here, guys.
Oh, hello world. Hello DSC, FEU Tech.
Oh, hello. No worries. Even professionals are welcome here, not only for students. Okay. All right.
All right.
So I can see that our attendees are getting hyped. So guys, in respect of the time, we have last 5 more shoutouts.
Hello from Bahay. Yeah. I hope you're all staying at home and you're all safe, guys.
Yeah, stay safe.
Oh, we
because
also have from STI. Yeah, sorry. Oh, we also have from STI Cagayan.
All right. Oh, we have from BSU MC. So yeah, from Renz Villanueva.
All right, I think we have our last here from DSC CSB. Hello, guys.
Hello.
All right. So,
all right.
all right. I'm really excited for this event, actually. You know, I really waited for this to happen since this is the first ever collaboration of all the DSC chapters around the Philippines, right, Fids?
Yeah, Kyra, indeed. I too am so excited to meet these new people. And we want to thank each one of you for making this event possible, and also to the organizing committee who really put extra effort in this event.
Nako, I feel so happy since this is my first time to see the community in this one big event.
Nako, totoo lang, Kyra. I'm also hyped to see this community.
So for those of you guys out there who haven't signed up for our event, please do so. We will be putting the registration link below so that you may receive the Discord invite.
All right, so let's check out the comment section. And for those of you na wala pa sa Discord, you may do so that you're welcome. I mean, all of you are welcome to the community, to the family. I mean, so we will be utilizing this server for you guys to meet and connect your co-attendees.
Yeah, that's so nice naman, Fids. Also encouraging everyone to like and follow our official Facebook page in the DSC Philippines to stay more updated for our future events and send us a message if you have any concerns or questions about the developer student clubs. So Fidel, I think we are all set to start our event, right?
Yes, I am so excited. But before I forget, please take note of this Menti code shown on the screen. Okay, so here you can submit your questions for Sir Mac Valmores while the event is ongoing, and we will entertain your question one at a time after his discussions.
Oh, okay. I see a lot of people are coming. I see from CIT. Hello, Mel Gabuta.
Hello.
Hello, Gary. Oh. Okay, guys. I hope you got the code shown in the screen.
Yeah, and if you have your phone with you and you're watching this from your laptops, you can bring out your phone, scan your QR code. So, yeah.
All right, and also requesting everyone for our next slide. So requesting everyone to visit Kotlin Playground as shown on the screen. We have the link for for it. And also, right after, we will give you another link where you will be able to access our speaker's code, and you may copy paste and run it in your Kotlin playground.
So so we will be showing you the Bitbucket link.
Okay. Here's the Bitbucket link where you can copy the code and run it in your Kotlin playground.
So yeah. So mind you guys, it is in the comment section. It is linked, so make sure to check that out. Okay, so without further ado, I'm so honored to introduce to all of you for today's speaker.
All right, I am also very excited to have our speaker tonight. And you know, Fids, he is the community lead of the the Philippine Android Developers Community Lead, and also the current lead developer of TerraVibe, and also the lead at CrowdNet Project, where he won second place winner at Angle Hack.
Okay, so he's also a founder of Mac Apps Lab, professor at Manila Business College and De La Salle University, Manila. He is also an Android developer at Project Nova. No other than Sir Marco Valmores. The virtual stage is yours, sir.
Okay, guys. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Good evening, Sir Mac.
Wait lang. Am I allowed to? I'm just sharing my screen right now. Just give me a second. No?
All right, sir. Take your time, sir.
No worries.
There you go. Wait lang.
So yun guys, have your coffee ready so you won't get sleepy. But of course, this one is an interactive one. Yeah, with our question.
I hope we also have your. We also hope you have your snacks with you while listening to Sir Mac and doing codes. You have your food, and we also hope that you had your early dinner, or you might have your late dinner.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So,
you can see your screen, sir.
Sige, okay na tayo? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. No? So, good evening, everyone. This is Mac Valmores from Philippine Android Developers Community, as well as I'm leading Kotlin Philippines. No? So, today, as a primer, to help you begin with the Android weekend, we'll be teaching you and showing you code snippets for Kotlin. No? So, si Kotlin, we'll discuss Kotlin quirks, meaning bakit ba kailangan gamitin si Kotlin ngayon, as well as ano yung benefits, no? So let's actually first discuss why Kotlin, no? First reason for me to use Kotlin right now, it is currently the mobile standard, no? Android mobile standard for developing apps. So it is important that we use a new standard, no? For those who have used Android before, you will know, you will be taught, you've been learning Java, no? Since 2018, no? Google has already moved its focus away from Java to Kotlin. So lahat ng development towards Kotlin, and makikita nyo, lahat ng efforts and developments, advancement will be on Kotlin. So may chances na mapapabayaan or may iwan na eventually si Java. No? Yun yung reason kaya tawag natin mobile standard. Second, no, it's already cross-platform. Okay? So, okay, wait lang. Okay. So, we can actually use one code base for Android and iOS already. Which is really helpful, no? Kasi mahirap mag-maintain ng dalawang code base for an iOS project and an Android project, no? Aside from that, just so you know, Kotlin is not limited to mobile development. You can actually use it for backend development. One technology that's highly used in backend development right now is KTOR, KTOR, and as well as you'll be able to use Kotlin with JavaScript, no? So hindi lang siya limited to mobile development. Okay. Now another reason for us to use Kotlin is easier to read, much shorter yung code, no? And for me, what I really like about this one is that it's like reading phrases, English phrases already, no? Okay. Next, bale, here's a few Kotlin quirks that we'll discuss or need to highlight later, no? One, we have what we call interoperability, wherein we can actually call Java code inside Kotlin. We'll have a demo for that. Then, here in Kotlin, for those who are familiar with Python, you can actually create one whole project using one Kotlin file. Now, this actually makes it more flexible for me, no, in my opinion, and we're now no longer stuck to what Java was doing before. Kasi si Java, one class, one file, no? So if you have a big project, you have to manage a lot of files. Now in Kotlin, no, you don't need to follow that already. Okay? And lastly, we have what we call classes. A class now is no longer fixed. Hindi lang siya, no? We have what we call data classes. We'll just discuss that later. And marami tayong type of classes, no? So this time around, we are more specific, no? Kasi Kotlin is aiming for more readable, more shorter codes. So they provided a lot more options or codes or syntax for us to use. Okay. Sige. Okay, before I begin, again, I'd like to invite you all to join Kotlin Philippines as well as Philippine Android Developers Community. So if after this session, if you feel that you want to learn more and to read more about any developments in either Kotlin or Android, please join our community. No, especially you guys. Most of you, I believe, are students. So a lot of you have chances or mas marami kayong tanong or you need help in anything. Do not hesitate to ask in our community. We are a very helpful and friendly community, no? So now let's go to our coding basics. Before I proceed, I would like to remind everyone, please open the Kotlin Playground as with the link provided, no, earlier. That way, you can try out the code, no? Hindi ko na kasi mararun now kasi when I run the code, it will take a bit longer. Next, I have shared my personal Bitbucket account that contains the code for this project, for these sessions, para hindi na kayo magta-type, copy-paste na lang, no? Para mas mabilis tayo. That way, you can experience sample codes already without typing too much. Kasi when I teach, I've done several events with DSC already. Gusto ko tina-type, no? Unfortunately, we have limited time, so we can in order to save time, no? I already wrote the code, so you can just copy paste and run it, no? So, by the way, no, if you need help or you need speakers for Android or Kotlin, please do not hesitate, no, to contact us, yung group namin. We can help you out. Okay? I'll just share my code screen, no. I'll be using IntelliJ in this setup. Unfortunately, Android Studio can't be used because we have sa Android Studio kasi it's meant for the Android framework, no. You can't run basic Kotlin doon. Okay? So I'll stop sharing my screen for a minute. I'll be on mute for a second. I'll just set up my Kotlin project. So we will begin our learning process now. Okay. But if by any chance, guys and girls, if you don't see the code, please message us so we can adjust the sizes of the fonts. No? So here, this is a sample project under using Kotlin. We have several packages already pre-created for you guys. No? We'll be tackling basic Kotlin. We'll talk about classes, control statement, data structures, functions, interoperability, and especially nullable. No? This is what I think will help you develop more, or help you tawag dito, help you guys have an easier time doing Android, no? Kasi malaki ang difference ni Kotlin sa normal Java or what yung mga languages na nagawa niyo before. Okay? Sige. So let's start with basic 00. So this is a sample Kotlin program. No, hindi na tayo mag-hello world. Laos na yun, no? Let's be a more let's go straight to a bit more difficulty. No? So here, let's go to line number 4. You will see fun main args array string. Now, line number 4 is like the public static void main of Java. This will be our executable. Dito natin ilalagay anything executable. Okay? Now, unlike Java, so I'll be comparing Kotlin and Java a lot. No? So if you at any point you feel that you have any inquiries, please do not hesitate to message me or send a private message so we can answer it. No? We'll give you time. Okay? So here we have line number 4 until line number 8. This is what will be executed. Okay? Sige. Isa-isahin natin yung line, no? So we have here line 1 and 2. This is what we call global variables. We'll discuss that a bit more later. But think of it na etong variables na to accessible sa ibang files. Okay? Now, at line number 1, we have late init var user input colon string. Now, when you see a late init, it means that a variable will be declared later. Now, late init is only usable if the variable is declared outside of a function or outside of a class. So, kailangan yan. So, here, yung user input natin, mamaya pa natin makukuha. So, naka-late init siya. Next, we have val event equals beginnings Kotlin. Now, here, no, please do take note na you will see some similarities here in JavaScript. No? In JavaScript, we use val and var prior to a variable declaration. When we use a var, no, a var tells us that a variable can change value and a val has a fixed value. Ibig sabihin, once na set na yung value niyan, fixed na, hindi na pwedeng palitan. No? You will also notice here na wala na tayong semicolon. No? Unlike other programming languages, we are no longer required, no, to have a semicolon. Okay? So let's go to lines number 4 to 8. So here, again, line 4 to 8, no, tells us this is a runnable. Okay, this is a runnable code. So here we have print. Well, so yung mga nagja-Java yan dati, no, meron tayong system.out.println. Now it's only print, which is cool, no? Konti na lang ita-type natin. Then we have user input equals readline dot to string. Now here, readline, we're asking for user input, okay? And finally, at line number 7, no, we print hi. Then you will see here $user input enjoy the event. Now you will notice here, if you've been using other languages, no, Di ba sa Java, you need to concatenate using plus? Now, here in Kotlin, you no longer do that. No? You can actually go straight and add your variables into your code, into a string, using, kailangan lang dagdagan ng $sign. Now, you will notice, dalawa yung, natin, no? Yung gamit natin. $sign variable name and $sign curly braces. No? Yung difference niyan is if you are using a specific variable only, no? Yung $user input is enough. Yan lang yung gagamitin nyo. However, if you're using a variable or an object, specifically an object, or you want to show an output using calling a function, no? We'll have more demos of that later. Don't worry about it. Please use yung yung curly braces, $curly braces. This is what we call templates. Okay? Sige. This is, now let's proceed with basic 01. This is the next, let's go to variables naman. Okay? Here we have, again, a global variable. We have user input var string plus my name. Tapos fun main args array string. Again, ito. We'll discuss this more later about ano yung fun main na yan. When we go to functions. Then inside of the main function, we have var input string, string, question mark. User input equals Marco. Then we have println again. User input colon dollar user input. Then we have another one here. Now you will notice that we have two variables called user input. The first user input is on line number 3, is what we call a global variable again. And here we have, like in line number 6, this is a local variable. Technically, ang sinasabi natin, anyone who wants to use a user input variable can call it, no? While if we want to use this user input dito lang sa class, yung accessibility, no, yung scope ng variable na yan, yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? If you want to use a local variable, we just use $ tapos yung variable name. Now, if we want to use or to call a global variable, in this case, we want to use line number 3, okay? We need to call the package name, no? Yung package name, saan folder siya makikita, no? Or saan siya makikita na package and dot yung user input. How do you know the package? In this case, ito yung package niya, nakasulat naman sa atin, no? Okay? So aside from this, no, you will in Kotlin we still have variables, the 8 basic basic variables. We have long, int, string, long, short, boolean, character, byte, no, char, float, and double. So yun. Again, my mistake, nasabi ko yung string, no, kasi common na naririnig ko sa student, basic data type ang string. No, it is not a basic data type. Now, one thing about Kotlin that you should always remember is that all variables are objects. Okay? So, marami nang pwedeng gawin. And we'll see that as we go along. Now, aside from that, no, we have a new type of variable. No? We now have what we call ranges. So, kung naalala nyo, di ba minsan naggagawa tayo ng code na, age is less than 8 or greater than 10. And sometimes nagkakamali tayo kasi logical operation natin, minsan ang hirap, no, yung ranges, lalo na if you have several range of data, of ages, no. Here, we now have what we call data ranges. We have 2, no. We have int range and we have char range. No? So let's go to number 5. So on line number 5 we have val minor age range equals 0.17. Take note when we use the ranges, it's denoted by dot dot. This is one way of doing it. No? Next, var lowercase characters equals a dot dot z. Tapos uppercase characters equals capital A dot dot tapos z. Now, for characters naman, this is based on ASCII values. No? For those who are developing in on web, this is something very you should be very familiar with. Okay? So, ayan. So this is our ranges. Now, to traverse or to print out or to use each element of the ranges, we have several ways of doing it. We have minor.h for each. This is what we call an extension wherein lambda, no? We just put here, ano ba yung gagawin? In this case, i-print mo lang siya. Print it. Now, we'll discuss it later on when we go to functions in detail. But isipin nyo na lang, it refers to one element inside the minor h. Okay? Next, we have lowercase characters dot reverse dot for each. Okay? So, eto naman, what we're doing here is that we're reversing the order, then showing it. Okay? And on line number 12 to 14, no? This is what we call a for each, which is highly used, no? And this is one thing that I really like about Kotlin. Kasi, basahin natin, no? For each character in uppercase characters, print character. Now, here, if you notice how I read it, it felt like, or parang phrase lang, di ba, yung pagkabasa ko? Which is one key feature here in Kotlin. Now, this is very important. This helps us actually, to code easier. Now, one more thing is, one thing that I like to tell people about this one is since madali na siyang mabasa, no? Para kung phrases, we now can do lesser documentation at mas madaling maintindihan, no? Kasi whenever we do a project, we always remember we're not doing it only, di lang tayo mag-isa ang gumagawa. There will be someone who's coming in or possibly ipapass mo yung code to someone else. Now, one of the biggest challenge for developers right now is that, for example, ako, may ginawa akong project, I give the code to someone else. Sometimes, ang hirap basahin ng code, no? Just because very limited yung syntax. Now, here in Kotlin, okay, that we now have more developer-friendly na code, meaning mas madali nang mabasa, maintindihan. Okay? Next, we have line number 16 to 18. We have for again. Now, please take note of this. Meron tayong dot filter. Now, this means what, we can still lessen or pwede natin i-filter ano ba yung gusto natin isama sa range. Okay? In this case, gusto ko lang i-print out yung minor age na greater than 10. Okay? Sige. So that's about ranges. Let's go to medyo advanced naman, no? Kasi this ranges, no, kung mapapansin niyo, this range, line number 4, yung minor age is for int only, and yung line number 5 and 6 are for characters. Take note, if you're using the double dot notation, no, these are for characters as well as integers only. For integers, you can use negative values, okay? For here, no, for yung characters, you can use characters in the ASCII table. So you just need to look for an ASCII table and check for it kung yung mga pwede palabas. Okay? Now, let's go to ranges part 2. Now, paano naman if yung value na kailangan natin is of ibang data type? No? For example, we have a double or a float range. No? In this case, we can actually use dot range 2. Okay? So let's begin. So again, for line number 4, if you want to use an int range, aside from the double dot notation, you have 18 dot down to 10. Now, kaya ito down to, ibig sabihin 18, 17, descending order yung order ng natin, range natin. While here, on line number 6, we have double, range 2, 0 to 10. This is ascending naman. So, yun yung difference, no? So, here, you can say, kung anong gusto mong range. Okay? So, we have sample here for double. We have another sample for float. And you can do it for characters also. Now, let's see how it works. So, for line 11 to 16, we will notice, we'll check, is 0.1 in double range. Now, you will notice here, this is good, no? Kasi, you don't need to do parang, is 0.1 greater or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 10, no? Instead, you just say, yung 0.1 in double range. Now, this is again, I want to emphasize this, paulit-ulit ko to sasabihin sa inyo, it's more human readable. So, again, if 0.1 in double range, print value in double range, else not value in double range. Okay? Next, we have here print. Okay, 10.000, ang daming zero, no? This is million tata, hindi ako nagkakamali. This is 1 billion, basta mahaba, marami siyang zeros before yung last one, no? So here we can also check it. Now, this is a cool thing to use, especially if you want to check if a value is between two decimal values. You can either use double or you can use float, depending on your preferences. Now, may konting change lang, no? Here, let's go back to range. Actually, I didn't discuss thoroughly yung for loop kasi we have another discussion for that. But this one iterates or isa-isahin niya yung laman, no, ng range natin. While here, instead of directly accessing it, we can't. We need to call an iterator. Okay? So here we'll just say while int range iterator dot has next, ilalabas niya. Now, please do take note when you use an iterator, no? Parang it itemizes that item range, no? And etong part na to has next. No, it will check, does the range have more content? Habang may laman pa siya, it will print it out. Okay? So this is our basic discussion for Kotlin. I'm open for questions. I'll wait for a minute. If there are no more questions, I'll proceed with the next part. Okay? Are there any questions, guys and girls? Okay. Do you have any questions? None? Okay. Yes, Kyra? Meron bang counter-based loop sa Kotlin? For example, Java for int? Yes. We'll have a different discussion for that later. So, we'll have control statements. Control statements will cover yung for loop na yan. Okay? Does Kotlin support hot reload, restart like Flutter? Okay. So, here, Kotlin is not. So what I'm showing right now is not for Android development, but if you are using Kotlin, yung latest versions ng Android Studio for development, yes, may hot reload na siya. Okay. So, another question is, paano po yung classes pag may call ka sa global, kailangan declare pa package name po? Yes. So, if you want to use or call a variable that's global, you need to call it in using dadaan pa ng package. Okay? Example output for ng iterator. No, unfortunately, I'll leave the output for you guys. The codes have been uploaded for you, so you can copy paste it on your IDE or on Playground. No, that way you can experience it firsthand. Okay. Another question is, Kotlin is a cross-platform, also Dart, Flutter. Both are supported by Google. Which is better? Now, this is a tricky question. No, this is a bit subjective, to be honest. Kasi Dart and Flutter actually serves another audience. No, kasi for me, as developers, we are trained to use specific languages. Or each language has a syntax, has a form, and those things, no? So for me, when we talk about Kotlin, this is more geared towards those who have used Java. Take note of that, okay? But if we're talking about Dart and Flutter, we're looking into those who have used JavaScript heavy. If you go through the syntax of both, no, makikita yung comparison. No? So, in terms of which is better, it's subjective because saan ka mas familiar? Kung familiar ka sa Java and those type of programming languages, then it will be easier for you to translate or to migrate or to use Kotlin. However, if you're using JavaScript heavily and other more on the web side, no, you'll have an easier time using Dart and Flutter. That's what I've experienced and seen, no? Another question is, same lang po ba yung programming language ng Swift and Kotlin? No. Kasi ang Swift is iOS and Kotlin is for multi-platform, no? See, Swift is take note of Swift is specifically for iOS development. Now, one thing that I'm excited actually about Kotlin is pareho na halos sila ng syntax kay iOS, no? In fact, may mga there came a time when I was coding, I was able to cut and paste code from my Kotlin project to my iOS project. So, cutting revisions lang and the code work. Okay? Are there any more questions? If not, I'll proceed with the next part. Okay? Sige. Is array and range the same? No. No. Magkaiba sila. Okay? For that, yung implementation nila is different. Okay? Sige. We'll have a time to discuss arrays and it will be on data structures. Sige. So next, I believe if there are no more questions, I'll discuss one very cool feature for me, no? Nakikita ko kay Kotlin. This is the interoperability. So here we have two files. One is main.kt, which is a Kotlin file, and we have person. This is a normal Java class. For those who are familiar with Java, you can verify. Can you verify na kung Java to? No? So this is a sample of a Java code. Now, let's go to main.kt. This is Kotlin. And look here, I can use the person object in our na Java sa loob ng Kotlin. Okay? This is very, very cool, no? Kasi for easier migration towards a new language, no? Usually you have to rewrite everything from scratch. Since Kotlin, parang ang entry point ni Kotlin kasi, no, to help others who have already started doing Java projects, no, mobile projects using Java. Okay. For those who have started projects in Java, you can directly call your existing code na Java into Kotlin. Now, this actually helps people have an easier time migrating towards Kotlin. Kasi, ang hassle mag-aral ng bagong language, bagong technology, especially in the middle of a big project, no? Kasi you need to manage, ano yung papalitan, ano yung gagawin dito, no? Sometimes sabihin pa sa'yo na let's overall start from scratch, no? And that's terrible decision kasi you have already an existing code that's working and you have to rewrite everything from scratch, and that's not optimal. Instead, what Kotlin provides is that for those existing projects written on Java, you can actually call them directly in Kotlin. That way, you can continue development, no? And without sacrificing yung yung speed, no? And yung timelines natin. Kasi once you redo a project, okay? Okay, once you redo a project, tatagal siyempre tatagal yung development time, and most companies cannot afford those things, no? Okay, so this is a sample of interoperability. Now, for those using the Kotlin Playground, unfortunately, you won't be able to use this one, to run this one. You need an IDE. By the way, I'm using IntelliJ right now for Kotlin. I'm using IntelliJ community version. If you haven't downloaded it yet, download it now. You can use this for Kotlin projects, no? Aside from IntelliJ, you can use NetBeans as well as and Eclipse for doing Kotlin projects. Okay. I'll proceed with the next one. I'll proceed with control statements muna. Okay. Wait lang. For those who haven't, yung ibang parts pala dito hindi ko pa na update, no? So please, for those who are using the code base as yung Bitbucket, I'll just push the latest code para you can get the copy. Okay. Cool. So now we will proceed with control statements. In control statements, we'll be discussing if, logical expressions as well, yung in, no? So here we have an age, which is 10, and adult range equal, which is 18.100. Okay? Now, the first natin is, meron tayong regular if statement. We have if age greater or equal to 18 and age less than 100. This is how we usually do it. However, aside from yung double ampersand, we can actually use the end infix. No? We can use the end keyword aside from the double ampersand. Okay? Next, one thing that I really like is look here. At least sabi ko na if in, yung keyword na in, adult range. So instead of using the greater than or less than sign to find a value between two ranges, here sabihin mo na lang if age in adult range, no? So this is one thing that I really like about Kotlin. Wait lang, hindi yata nag-push. Give me a few seconds lang. I'll just make sure you have the latest codes. Okay. Okay. There's a question here, no? unfortunately, for those using Kotlin, Kotlin Playground, you won't be able to run yung, or wala siyang console input. So yung read line, you won't be able to run it completely. Okay, that's from one of our questions. Okay, so sige. Let me work on the screen. A lot of people are saying blurred daw. Guys, can you help me out? Can the host get back and double check yung screen ko? Just increase the size of the font, I guess. Para lang I can make sure everyone sees everything naman. By the way, everything is provided to you. We have provided the links. If you are having a hard time looking at the code, please visit the links. That way you will have a better. You won't have the problem of yung the stream being blurry. Ayan. So nilakihan ko na yung font, no? I hope this helps us. Okay. Can I get a feedback if everyone is able to see this right now? Wait. Okay. Is this better? Is this better? Can you see it better? Para lang, like I know. Thank you for telling me na yung code. No? We have gone through 2 sets of code already, and if you said na blur siya, I apologize for it. To please revisit the Bitbucket account, no, yung shared project, so you can check the codes also. Okay. So here we have a control statements na if. Okay. So similar lang yung if natin, and may addition lang ng and tsaka in. Okay. We still have the or. Okay. Then let's go to control statements part 2. So here we have another set of control statements. Now let's discuss for loop. So, yung kanina, may nagtanong, paano yung for loop kay Kotlin? Now, for loop, no, the earlier for loop na for in I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, no longer exists in Kotlin. Iba na yung syntax niya. No? So, we'll focus on the for loops now. Okay? Don't worry about the do and do while loop. Ay, yung while loop tsaka do while kasi same pa rin sila. Walang problem yun, no? Paulit. Okay? Very similar pa rin sila. Now, here, please focus on line 7 to 10. We have for age in adult range, print ln age. Again, whatever is the order, no, and the content of this range, it will print it in order, saka yung range na yon. Next, paano naman yung plus plus doon? So when we do a for loop, meron tayong plus plus, right? So here, by default, this increments by 1. But if you want to increment by 2, you can use the keyword step. So ibig sabihin, every second element ipipresent niya. Okay? Now, here, the dot notation is specifically for ascending from lower to larger number. As you can notice in our previous examples, in this example, the left number is always lower than the right number. So in this case, if you want to reverse it, you use the keyword down to. So for each age in 24 down to 18, step 2, i-print na. So every 2 entries, tsaka siya mag-print. No? Okay? So these are the samples for loop. So as you can see, iba na talaga siya ngayon, no? We don't need to declare a variable to manage our indexes. Especially later when we go to our arrays, you will see this more. Okay? So let's go here. Wait lang, may na-miss out na ba ako? Okay, I did miss out a slide, a file. Now, one thing that you might like, no, is yung repeat. No? Kasi here the repeat means a for loop that repeats n times. No? As you can see here, the repeat 5 tells us to do this 5 times. So you don't need it, di mo na kailangan mag for loop, di ba? Before you say for int I, tapos I less than I equals 0, I less than 10, tapos I plus plus, tapos sa loob ng for loop na yun, mag-print ln lang din, mag-print ka, no? So ang haba ng ginawa mong codes, no? While here, look here. You just say repeat 5 times, and again, it's more readable compared to others, yung regular for loop. So yung for loop natin, na-enhance na, no? Not only can you use mas shorter siya, mas human readable, we have a shorter for loop for those that is for repetitions only. No? So here, in line number 4 to 5, 4 to 6, no? What we're doing here is that we're just printing. No? However, kunyari, if you're using an array or doing something that requires an index or you need to use the counter here, what you can do is you can say repeat 2 times, then ito yung syntax niya, index arrow. Now, index tells us whatever the value of time is, yun yung ipapasa niya dito sa line na to. No, this is what we call lambda. So, makikita nyo, mas flexible siya, no? And it's shorter. Okay? So, may na-miss out ako sa if statements. Let's go back a bit. Okay. Here you go. In Kotlin, wala na tayong switch statement. Wala na yung switch na syntax. No, we can't use the switch syntax anymore in Kotlin. Instead, we have what we call when. Okay, mas ano yung when, no? Mas powerful. We'll have I can't cover it now kasi marami tayong discuss, pero aside from here, meron pa siya you can check for types, do computations, and a lot more dun sa dito, no? Sa cases niya. Unlike sa Java or other languages, when you have a case statement, it's a specific value that you're looking for. Here, it can be a range, it can be a boolean, no? So as long as the statement here holds true, mag-execute siya. Okay? So again, in Kotlin, we no longer have a switch statement, but we have a when. So here, when grade, no? So kung ano yung value ng grade, yun yung magiging value nito. Now, one cool thing you will notice here is that the when statement, no, can be equated to a variable. This holds true for if statements also. No? Okay. So here we have for card grade equals when grade. So here's a simple logic checking for the value of grade. So our value of grade is 83. So similar to your switch statement, it will go to each item, no? Once nag-execute siya, no, which is dito siya mag-execute, okay? Then we will now have, it will stop here. Hindi na siya magpo-proceed sa baba. Now, whenever you're using the when statement for an equation or equating the when statement to a variable, or you are required to use an else. Kumbaga, kung wala lahat dito yung okay? If what you're looking for is not in the cases that you provided, dapat may default value. And the else provides you with the default value. Okay? Sige. So, here's a sample of a function. We'll discuss functions next. No? But please do take note that you can equate a when statement to a function. Not only that, you can equate an if statement to a function. So we'll discuss that thoroughly later. But since we're just using when, okay? So you can do this. Okay? Sige. I'll stop for a few minutes and I'm open for questions. Please feel free to ask any questions so we can clarify them. Okay. Yes. Okay, I'm open for questions now. Di ko po masyado mag-gets yung syntax na may colon kapag nag-declare ng variables. Except, example, yung var adult, coloring, okay, sige. Okay, sige. I went too fast. Let's go back to our basics. Sorry for that, no? For that, sige. Let's go back to our variable declaration. So in Kotlin, the variables again can be a var or a val. A var can change tawag dito, can be changed yung value once, no? And a val can't be changed yung value. Now you will notice here in line number 1 we have user input colon string. Now here, do take note at this point na ang syntax natin is a val or a var prior to ito yung user, yung variable name, colon yung data type, no? Yan yung line number 1. However, look at line number 2. You have val, tapos event, wala siyang data type. So in Kotlin, no, you have the option not to include the data type. Kasi si Kotlin smart enough to identify anong data type yung variable na yun based on your tawag dito, based on what you assign to it. Okay? I hope that answers your question. So, if we go back, so ang question niya is, paano sa int ranges, no? Let's go back to ranges 0, 1. Ang question niya dito, ranges 0, let me check some part yun. Can you help me? What file was that? No? I believe dapat dito yun. This is adult range. So, dapat dito ata siya. Okay, saan ko siya nalagay? For control statements. Wait lang ito. So, yung question niya is specific to this file. It's control statements _00. On line number 5, we have var adult range colon int range equals 18.100. If you're using ranges, the data type that you can use is int range, or for integer, if you're using range for characters, you use char range. No? I hope I answer your question correctly. No? Okay. Plus a function in Kotlin have a return statement and a return type. You'll find out that, and you'll find that out in a bit, since we'll be going to functions after this set of questions. Next, sa print line, do we need to import a class for it? No. As in, you just say print ln. It's already imported for you or available for you. Next, okay lang walang comma sa mga conditions kapag ginamit ang when? Yes. So let's go back, no? Na medyo. So yung when natin is on control statement underscore 01. This is our sample. So in other languages, if you've been using switch statements before, it's separated by a break, no? So here you can actually, after this arrow sign, whatever is on here, it is executed. Now, what if you have multiple codes? No, you can enter it in, enclose it in a opening and a closing bracket. That way, whatever is inside this bracket will be executed. Okay. So ayun. So those are the questions. I hope I was able to answer them. Okay. I'll proceed now. Are there any more questions? Please, and not know, Dina, are there any more questions? We'll continue with the questions later. I believe I've answered everything. Okay. So let's proceed now to data structures. So for data structures, I'll be talking about arrays lang. Kasi we have several data structures like sets, map, hash map, list, array list, and a lot more, no? If I discuss that, may hirapan tayo. But here, I need to enforce this one kasi yung arrays is totally different. Iba ng syntax, iba ng declaration, marami ng bago, no? Sige. So this is array array 1, array underscore 00. Wait lang. I'll just enter this one para magkasya sa screen. Give me a second. Okay. Wait lang. A second. I'll just make sure the whole thing is readable in one screen. Okay. Sige. Now, you will notice here for arrays, no? In line number 5, we have an array. Take note of what the syntax. Val array names equals array of. This is a special syntax wherein this is a function na tinatawag natin. This is the data type of the array. This is what we call generics. This tells us string lang ang pwedeng ma-accept dito, and these are the entries. Okay? So this is, if we want to declare an array, this is one way. Another way is val ar random colon array. Take note of this yung data type niya. Kanina, look here, wala tayong data type. So again, it will automatically use whatever data type is available here. Now here we have another data type. I'm introducing the any data type. Now, for those familiar with object-oriented programming, for Java, okay, excuse me. Okay, for Java, yung any is comparable to what we call an object. So, Again, in Kotlin, everything is an object, so any can be anything, any data type in Kotlin, any object siya sa Kotlin. Okay? Tapos equals array of. So you can see I have a string, I have an integer, I have a boolean value, and I have a null. So you will notice here my question mark. No? This is very important. We'll discuss this thoroughly later. This is what we call nullable. No? So this one you will see heavily, especially when you're doing Android development. Yung mga question mark. Okay? Later we'll discuss that. Next, we have var arr numbers colon int array equals int array of. Now you will notice here, no? We have an array of, tapos may generics. Then we have a specific function for an array. Kasi kay Kotlin, yung array, binigyan niya ng functions or no, binigyan ng more functionality wherein if you use a specific here in this case int array, you can use a lot of its functionality. I'll show you in a bit. No? So nasa declaration pa lang tayo ng array. Now, what if you want to declare an array without content? Okay, so let's add it right now. Okay. So ang syntax niya, it's different, no? Oops, sorry. Okay. So if you want to declare an array that you know the size of, pero hindi mo alam or wala pang laman, this is the syntax for it. No? You have var array rr foods equals array. Again, do not forget the generics. Okay? Kung ano yung data type ng array. Plus, here you have inside the opening and closing parenthesis 5. This denotes na 5 yung laman ng entry natin. Okay? Tapos you will notice here, meron tayong curly braces. Bakit? Okay? Kasi si Kotlin galit sa null pointer exception, which is one of the biggest problems of developers. It is one of the most or the highest recurring problems or errors occurred by developers. That's why we have yung null check, yung question mark kanina. Okay? So here, this prevents us from having a null value inside an array. Okay? If you want to have a nullable value in an array, pwede mo lagyan ng question mark after ng data type. We'll talk more about nullable values later on. Pero as early as now, I'll be showing it, no, para masanay na kayo. Okay? So how do we access or use arrays? Okay. So here we can use for index. If you want to access an array using an index, you can use for index in RR yung array name dot indices. Tapos println, take note yung index colon. Tapos RR names index. Now you will notice here is that ARR names, no, yung index is the way we access the array is still similar to how we access it in regularly, no? So variable name enclosed in brackets. Okay. Next, we have for value in ARR random, and inside it, no, we have println value. Okay. Now you will notice here, no, dito sa for loop na to, for each value in ARR random, what's happening here is that for each entry, no, iisa-isahin niya. And take note, it will be in order of the index. Okay? So next, we have, what if you want to use yung range natin? So again, we have for index in 0 dot dot here, it's no longer dot dot until here are names that size. There you go. So what's happening in this line is that yung 0 until, we're saying 0 until our name size. We're not including the last number. Bakit? No? Kasi in arrays, we use the size, for example, 5. It means, no, in an array, it means that the indexes are 0 to 4. No? So yun yung ano natin, syntax natin for loop, no, using until. So here are some ways of traversing a for loop. Okay, so eto. Sige. Next, we have an array again. Okay. And tama na pala, yun na yung arrays natin. So before I begin, there are other questions here. Sige. There's another question for Wen. I'll just read it. I think I missed this out or I was able to. I'll just control statements here. Okay. So when daw, okay lang pong walang comma sa mga conditions kapag ginagamit ang when. Yes. Okay lang. Kasi if you don't enclose it in a curly brace, you're saying there's only one line of code that will be executed. However, if you enclose it in a curly brace, whatever is inside here, no, that will be the one executed. Okay. Sige. Now, there's a good question. I like this question. What makes array different from a range? Now, a range is a okay. Sa range kasi, these are values that uses basic data type. Ano ba yung basic data type natin? Int, float, character, right? No? So, yun yung data types na pwede doon sa range. In an array, you can actually use objects like an array of person, an array of books, an array of fruits, no? So, mas malaki yung coverage ng array compared to a range. Okay? So, yun yung difference. You can't have an array of of fruits. Okay? Next, are brackets not required in for loops? So, let's go back to this specific control statements natin na for loops. Let me check. Dito ata. Or dito. Wait lang, hanapin ko yung for loop. Okay. Here, okay, there was a question, no? Yes, we still have curly braces for, we still have curly brackets for loops. I'm not, maybe can you be more specific on what specific brackets are you looking for in a for loop? Para lang, ano, what do you call this? Mas masagot ko, no? Kasi medyo vague yung question. So help me out understand your inquiry so I can answer it better. Okay? Next, the last question would be, parehas po ba yung syntax ng array at array list ng Kotlin? Unfortunately, I have no example for array list at the moment, but wait lang, nire-recall ko lang. I think they're different. No, I'm not sure. I can't recall right now. Okay. I believe they have a different syntax. Especially in array, you don't have. Kasi in an array, no? You define the size, and you use an array of to declare. In array list, iba. If you're saying, or whoever asked this, I'll show you the code sample for array list. Okay. Kaya niya siguro nasabi kasi ito yung syntax ng array list kay Kotlin. Yeah, this is the syntax. So it looks very, it looks similar pero magkaiba pa rin sila ng behavior, especially in memory. So in syntax, yeah, you're kind of right na kasi may parentheses, whatever you want to pass, no? Pero what array list doesn't have is this one, yung default value. Okay, kasi ang difference ng array, you have allotted 5 items already na in an array. You have 5 items in an array, pero may laman na siya. Pero unlike an array list, it's upon when you add it, doon lang nagkakaroon ng laman. So, mas flexible. Okay? Okay. I have 2 more questions here. So, when po, I'm still confused why the output in line 7 has curly braces while the others don't have. What's the difference having curly braces from the double quotations? Okay. Sige. I think he's referring to line 20, 21, and verses 23 to 25. Now, here in 2021, what we're saying is we're only executing a single line. No? We're only executing a single line, so we didn't have any curly brace here. What I showed here is you can actually have curly braces. So whatever is inside, it will be executed. Kasi here, kunyari naglagay ka pa ng another, sabihin natin, naglagay ka pa ng print high. Yan, makikita mo yung index din niya, wala na sa scope. Pero, if you say hi here, hindi na siya makasama ng for loop. Unlike, if you have another, if you copy this and put it here, what happens is, every time this executes, itong part na to, whatever is inside here, no, it will be executed, no, kasama yung hi. So, yun yung difference ng curly braces from the double quotations. Well, if you please, if I didn't answer your question properly, please help me understand more and let me know yung idea nyo more. Let me know. Okay. Now, how much memory does a range data type take? Unfortunately, I cannot answer that right now kasi I haven't looked into it in terms of memory utilization, but that's a good question, no? I'll look into that. Let me add that to my note. Okay. Give me a second. It's something that I can, for those who, okay. So this one, I like this question, no? Memory utilization. Sige, I'll look into this kasi ang meaning kay data range it looks like it could be an array kasi fixed na yung laman niya, but it depends. Let me check on that just to be on the safe side, no? So another question is, can array elements of any include different objects of different classes? Yes. Any represents the object, or yan yung kaparehas ng object sa Java, and the object you are passing in the array could be of literally anything, no? Any object. Okay? Sige. So what we have next, we have three more topics. We have classes, then we have nullable values, no? And functions. Okay. So let's do the easiest first, functions. I think this one will pique the interest of a lot, no? Kasi we've seen fun main, but we haven't really gotten into what fun main is. So let me just close all the tabs para mas malinis. Okay. So here is a sample of here are samples of functions in Kotlin. Now a function in Kotlin, yung syntax niya is fun. It starts with the fun. Then we have the function name, the input parameters. We'll talk about the return type later. Then we have here yung executable code sa loob, whatever is needed. So let's begin with traditional functions. Let's go for line number 10 to line number 12. Do take note here, no? Fun, add value int 1, value 2 colon int. So again, in Kotlin, ang syntax natin sa variables is data type name, tapos colon followed by the data type. Okay, again, the variable name, sorry about earlier, it's the variable name colon yung data type. So we have an add here that accepts 2 integer. Now you will notice here yung colon int, this is our return type. Okay? So similar to before, we can actually return the value, add the two values and return it. Now, one cool thing about functions in Kotlin is that we saw it earlier in the web. We can equate, in kanina example natin, we equated a when statement to a function. Now, here we are equating, okay, we are equating a function with a constant which is 0. Siyempre, pag nag-add ka na walang input, definitely wala kang ina-add. You're just saying, parang 0 plus 0. Okay? So, yan yun. Next, no? You look at line number 15 and line number 14. Ito yung importante, no? You will have fun add value 1 colon long. This time around, we're using long, comma, value 2 colon long. No? You will see the comma here. Pero later, no? Let's discuss this later. Pero kung bakit may ganyan. Tapos, we can equate it here. So, compared to yung lines 10, 11, and 12, it is shorter, no? And more readable. Now, bakit siya ganyan? No? Ano yung difference from this one and this one? One, here we have to explicitly identify the return type. Dito, hindi. No? Whatever is the output here, yun yung return type. Okay? So, another cool feature of Kotlin is having default values for variables. No? So, here we have fun add value 1. We're using double. Pero tignan nyo itong value 2. No? We equated it to 0. Okay? So, let's see these things in action right now. Okay? So here above, we have 4 add functions. We're calling it. Again, if you want to print out the value or the return of a function, you add a $sign and enclose the function name in curly braces. No? Now here, please, you can press Control and hide. Okay? I'm not sure if you're seeing this. If you're using the IDE, no? You can actually hover your mouse over the function, no? And it will tell you ano yung function na yan. Or dito may makikita, I believe it's blurred kasi maliit yung text, no? If you press this one, nakita yung cursor pumunta dito. So this one, yung first add, is calling line number 9. Again, here we have another ad. In this one, no, I'm not sure if, I hope you're using the IDE, because when you use the IDE, mas makikita niyo yung nakikita ko. No? It shows you the implementation of the add function. Okay? So, ito yung cool feature pag gumagamit ka ng IDE. So, makikita mo yung different implementation. What I want to highlight here is yung line number 15. No? The way we use the optional value. So, in line number 7, we have add. Okay? Take note here, isa lang yung pinasa nating value. So, pero sino yung tinawag niya? So, let's see. Again, press circle. If you're using the IntelliJ IDE, press control. Over here and add. It will be clickable. Click it. Your cursor will be moved to your, yung dito sa function na to. Now, you will notice dito siya pumunta. In Kotlin, no, like some programming languages, we are now allowing default values which allows optional input. Okay, you will notice here in line number 7, what we did is we only had isa lang yung parameter na pinasa natin, no, which is 0.6. Paano yung nangyari yung wala yung value 2? Okay, so declaring a value or a parameter to have a default value, we are saying na optional na value siya. One more cool thing about Kotlin is this one. No? Let me show you. By the way, if you're seeing the gray, yung value 1 column, this is the IDE doing it. I'm not typing it actually. Okay. So I'm typing right now. Okay. So I added a line number 8. I said value 2 equals 0.6 and value 1 equals negative 0.3. Here, take note, in Kotlin, you can identify the order of values. Di ba sa programming language, one of the biggest challenges is there's a bit bad practice that I've been seeing na yung function is accepting 6 to 10 input parameters, which I believe shouldn't happen. No? Pero sometimes, pag nagmamadali ka or you just want to make things happen or gusto mo lang paganahin, no, para lang matapos na yung code mo. And the thing is, most often than not, we have the problem of yung order ng variables, di ba? Nagkakamali tayo. In Kotlin, you can identify and set, no, yung value, yung variable name equals yung data na ipapasa sa kanya. Now, with this one, you are no longer parang hindi ka na fixated or hindi ka na, what you call this, parang hindi ka na nakatali sa order ng variables mo, no? Here, you'll notice laging value 1, value 2, no? You can see it here also, line ng value 1, value 2 parate. Now, because of this feature, we can go to value 2, value 2 first, then value 1. Okay? So, as long as you, again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send it to us. I'll allot time naman, no, during the coding. Next, we have another set of function, no? Yung unang function natin, yung data type, yung data na pinapadala natin is fixed. We only are setting one, in this case, one int and one, what you call this, one int or one float, no, or kung ano man yung float or double. What if you want to have multiple entries? Kumbaga, yung tatanggapin ng array mo, or ng function mo, is an indefinite number of input. Okay? In that situation, we have a special thing called var arg. No? Var-arg means kung ano man, you can pass in any number. Okay, sorry. Any number of input. Kahit anong ipasa mo dyan, tatanggapin niya. As long as int yan. Take note, as long as int. Okay? So, here, we have a function add, but this time around, it accepts an indefinite number of input. Now, if you're using var-args, this is one cool thing, no? You can actually pass an array. For example, line number 5, we have add 1, 2, 3, comma. Then we have an array here. Pwede yan. Kasi, in this example, usually you'll do something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Palitan ko lang to, no? 4. Sabihin natin, ganyan lang. This is good. This will execute. This will run. However, there are times that sabihin natin, uy, yung iba palang data na nakuha ko is stored in another array. I-add ko yung array na yon dito sa ina-add ko ngayon. So, instead of doing a for loop, again, for that array, you can pass here the array. So, here you can actually pass or do multiple arrays, which is cool kasi that way, logically, concatenated na yung data mo. Uy, may error. Ano yung error ko dito? Wala. Kala ko may error. Kinabahan ako. So, in line number 5, no? The var-arg allows us to have multiple entries. It can also accept arrays as long as we adhere to the data type na ibabalik. Ay yung input na data type. Okay? Next, we'll go to function 02. Now, as you can see earlier, the functions that we've been doing has a return type. Paano naman yung walang return type? No? In those situations, we are using actually by default the unit. Ito yung katumbas ng void. Okay? Unfortunately, wala na tayong void sa Kotlin. So, unit ang kapalit niya. So, most of the time, this is omitted. Okay? However, if you want to explicitly say na itong function na to returns nothing or a void, you can use colon. Okay? You can use colon unit as the return type. That's equivalent to void. So, let's go for ito. Now, kanina, di ba kita ko, we use var-args. So, I'm using here, okay, in this example, what if the var-arg, no, aside from that, we need to pass several other data. Okay, okay, take note nga pala, no, it's not, okay, hindi kayo pwede magkaroon ng multiple var-arg. No? For example, palitan ko, ano ko lang to, I have a complete here, and I'll do something like this one. No? This is not suggested. No? Actually, this will cause an error kasi Kotlin will only allow one var-arg. So sabihin natin, sample tapos string. No? Hindi pa rin pwede kasi var-arg is there can only be one var-arg in a function input parameter, no? Hindi pwedeng multiple. So kailangan yung tandaan yan. Now, if you're passing if you have a function na may var-arg, then you want to pass other data, what you do, so ito, no, I had a divisor here. Ang default value is 1. What I'm saying here is you need to explicitly identify yung variable na yon. Okay? Kasi in this situation, no, pag nilagay ko tong 1, tinanggal yung divisor equals 1, this actually should cause an error. Okay, may error ba siya? No, it did not. Okay. Well, when I tested this, may error, pero okay, it is important to have this one para ma-identify mo, especially puro int yan, which data type yung pinapasa dito. Okay? Next, let's go next to another set of functions. So, early on, puro basic functions, you will notice here, ito, makikita nyo ito madalas sa when you do Android development, no? So, here you have font, tapos we have here a generics. Then here, random entry, var entries T, colon list T. So, what we have here is actually, we're saying we are creating a function that accepts a set of values. But kumbaga, no, this is similar to how nakita niyo yung yung array of, parang ganun yung ginagawa natin dito. Okay? So it's something that you might have a chance to look to use when you're using Android. Pero here what it's saying is, this is the generic. This function accepts only this type of data type. Okay? And it will return this type of data type also. Okay? Well, accept lang, just to be very clear. The function will accept this type of data type. Okay? So next, ayan. So we'll now discuss what are lambda functions. Here, functions in Kotlin can accept functions as a parameter. Now, here, look at line number 13. So in line number 13, please do take note, font, execute, colon. When you see colon, opening closing parenthesis, what this is saying is that this is a function that returns int. Take note, no? The execute accepts a function that returns int, no? Tapos yun yung magiging output natin. So when we call this execute, take note of how it is called. It is actually execute tapos yung parenthesis, and this will return an int value. Okay? So in Kotlin, this is something you can actually execute. So how do we go about this? So instead of using a curly brace, o diba, when we call a function, usually meron siyang input parameters tapos curly braces. Look at how execute was called, no? Execute curly braces. Take note, wala na siyang opening and closing. What we have is the opening curly braces. So whatever is inside here, it will be executed dito once na execute is called. Okay? Next, okay. Yung kanina, yung functions, accepting functions, that's what we call lambdas. Now we have what we call infix functions. Here, infix functions are actually parang we are adding functionality to certain objects. So let's go for line number 9. We have infix font int that add that. Okay, tapos ito yung input parameter colon. Then we have the return type. Tapos sa loob ng curly braces, we have the kung anong ipoprocess niya. Okay, ito yan. So what's happening here is we can actually say na we can use 0 or any integer, then we can say dot add, tapos we pass another value, tapos makikita nyo var result equals 0. Ito yun, no? Return this plus result. This refers to whatever is this one plus the result. Or yung, wait, mali ako. Value 1 pala, no? Value 1. My bad. So, don't worry, I'll commit the codes later para mag-reflect yung changes. So this refers to yung whatever integer yung ginamitan mo, then here we have value 1. So let's go to line number 1. We have 5 that add 5. So the infix function allows us a bit to add functionality to integer in this case. No, so we have an integer, then we say that add 5. So we're saying 5 plus 5. No, so yung this na to refers to this 5. Tapos i-add dun sa 5 na yon yung input parameter. Okay. Now, another use of this is that the infix function int that add, you can also pass in an array of integer. Now, with this one, no, syempre, you can use say 100 plus add ARR values, which is actually cool kasi when you do more complex coding, this actually makes your code readable, more cleaner, no? So yan yung purpose ng infix function. You're adding functionality to an existing object already. And take note, the infix function can be used in existing classes, no, or objects, and you can do it on your own also, yung mga gawa ninyo. Okay. Next, we'll have the last one, yung scope ng functions, no? So functions have scope. Take again sa Kotlin kasi what happens is when everything is compiled, parang nasa isang one file lang yan, no? So yung classes ninyo should be unique. The variables that's outside of the classes, outside of the functions should be unique. Otherwise, mag-error yan. So yung here we have a global function which is show. Yan, yung scope niya is global. Then we have a class function show, which have the scope na within the class. And we can have a function within a function, which is this one. No? So, paano natin tinatawag yan? If we call show lang, this will call, so tignan natin, sino ba yung tinawag niya? So again, if you're using the IntelliJ IDE, press Control, no? And hover your mouse on that show. It should show you this one. Okay. Next, this show functions.show. Again, we've used this earlier. This is a global function that we're accessing. And lastly, we have func.show. Func is of object functions _ 07. So ito, we're actually calling a function, no, of a class. So this is very important for me, no. I think you should be mindful anong scope ng function natin kasi that way we know kung hanggang saan siya pwedeng tawagin. Okay? Sige. Next, we have nullable values. Sige. Yung questions, keep them coming. I'll answer it. Tapusin ko yung mga sessions. Now, okay. One key feature of Kotlin is yung nullable, no? Yung nullable variables, no? One thing that you should know is in Kotlin, we're trying to avoid nullable values. So let's go back to our arrays. I think I told you this earlier, no? The reason here, no, we declared an array and mapapansin nyo, may declaration siya ng undefined sa loob. Kasi sa Kotlin, we don't like null pointer exception. We are actually avoiding it as much as possible, no? So we're trying to eliminate yung mga kung saan siya pwedeng mag-occur. So let's go back. Ang syntax ng nullable is var, tapos yung data type colon, yung, var, variable name colon, then we have the string or data type followed by the question mark. Ito yung question mark, yung talaga nagpapakita or the one really saying that this value is nullable. Take note, no? For username, string question mark equals null, pwede yan. So for var full name colon string, we have an empty string. Okay? So for emphasis, no? Sabihin natin, var has answered through Boolean. So one thing that we always encounter, especially when we're using, we're asking for user input, is that wait, has answered yes or hindi, wag. Ito na lang. Is married. Gawin natin Boolean. Okay? So one of the biggest prompt, one thing that we encounter when we're asking for user input from a user is that, kunyari, ito marital status, no? Is the person married? When we're using a Boolean, true or false lang talaga yung value niyan. However, when we put a question mark, we are allowing a null. Now, the null will tell us, hindi niya pala sinagutan to. Kasi one of the biggest things that we do is, for example, if you're using web, for this one, meron tayong tick box, no, na naka-default no. Pero what if ayaw i-disclose ng user na yon, ng person na yon, if meron siya o hindi? So unanswered yung status mo. So ayun. So a null can represent a better representation. A null value can have a better representation of what occurred, especially in this case, during user input. Okay? So usually, there are 3 ways of doing null checks. Okay? Yung pinakauna, yung lagi natin ginagawa. Take note of this one. Username not equal null. Tapos look here, username.let. We can do this directly. Look at this syntax. Later, mag-iiba yan. Okay? So if you're using the if, not null, you can do this. Okay yan. Now, there's another option. Okay? Wait lang, let me change the code para lang mas maging readable. Look at line 17, 18, and 20. Wala tayong if, not null. So what we did is we access the variable directly and look here. No? We are using a question mark. Okay? So what this tells us is proceed even if it's null. Okay? Ituloy mo lang. So here, si username, for those who will run this, you will see yung username natin is null. So magiging null to, while yung full name is length 0. Now, sometimes, no, you don't want to say null, no, kasi null doesn't tell you much. So in this situation, we have what we call an Elvis operation, question mark colon. So here, what happens here in this line, if the username is null, which is null siya ngayon, it will print out undefined. Okay? Now, this one is very important, no? So, if you want, okay, so the question mark allows us to proceed with to proceed even if the variable is null. Okay? However, sometimes we need a bit more of information for processing, so we can, instead of null, we can return undefined. So kung ito, yung question mark, again, we're saying na whatever you do with username, in this case, kunin yung length, kahit na null yan, mag-proceed ka. However, there is what we call an assertion wherein we say dapat yung username is not null or the full name is not null. This is denoted by the variable name followed by the 2 exclamation point. Okay, so this is heavily used in Kotlin. So this one, I suggest you ask questions, no, for clarification. Now, aside from nullable values in uh, variables, you can actually have nullable values in functions. You can have nullable input parameters like this one, and you can have nullable return values. No? Okay. So here we have a sample for convert value colon any question mark. Again, the any keyword accepts any object. Okay. Tapos yung question mark again tells us it can be a null. Then it will return or convert whatever you pass as string. Now look here at line number 4. We actually passed a null. No? If you run this one, you can actually get a null value. Makikita nyo yung null string. Okay, null na value. Okay. So, as you can see, ang dami ng pwedeng bago sa Kotlin, no? I mean, the syntax, the arrays, and a lot more. For the last topic, we'll be talking about classes. So, classes is very yung core. This is one of the biggest thing that we need to discuss. Actually, kulang yung oras eh. We only have 2 hours. Maybe we can do some sessions in the future. Just check yung DSC, check Philippine Android Developers Community, or check Kotlin PH for announcements of additional sessions. No? So, our last topic would be classes. Sige. So, classes in Kotlin are different. Okay. First, I'll show you what we call an enum class. Okay, an enum class, no, is like an enum. Well, definitely enum siya. So, this is a class that has specific values, no? So, paano siya ginagamit? Okay. So, here, the roles, for example, an enum is used. For example, if you have something like an array that you know or parang parati siyang gagamitin. For example, in this case, if you are familiar with MOBA, ito yung mga yung mga roles natin. May carry tayo, may tank, may jungle, may assassin, may support. May madaldal yung puro kwento, which is the storyteller. Meron tayong feeder, at meron tayong unknown, yung may sariling mundo. Okay? So, these are the rules. The way we use it is, okay, I'll just show you, no? So, we can define a var role equals, take note, role that, sabihin natin support. Okay? Ito, magami yung ano ko. Role that, wait, I'm sorry, it's roles that, it has an S. Ayan. So, lalabas yung mga option. That jungle. So, ano yung use nito? Kasi sometimes, we create an array of strings for roles or for specific values that we will be using repeatedly. No? If we use that way, ang challenge is, hanapin pa natin yung array, ano yung value niya, or more importantly, when we use an array, malaki ang memory consumption nun. If you're using an enum, this actually is converted to a numerical value during compile time. Okay? So, ito, tayo, nababasa natin. So, the program doesn't need this actually. It will convert carry to a random number. Now, by doing that, we are we're actually consuming lesser memory. Okay? Sige. Ito na. Now, let's go to classes. This is a basic class. This is what we call a data class. Take note, class, then followed by the class name, then the parenthesis. Take note of the parenthesis. Take note, wala siyang curly braces, no? This is what we call a basic, a data class. No? A data class, ang laman niya lang, yung data for that class. Okay? And we use it similar to how we regularly use classes. So ito, for example, this is highly used, especially when you're creating data or data structures or data objects to represent real life. You use this if you have an idea, a real life object or something that you want to have characteristics. So wala, kung makikita nyo, ayan lang siya. Okay? So this is what we have here. This is what we call a data class. Okay? Another type of class is what we call an open class. Okay? Yeah. Dadagdagan ko lang ng code para lang give me a few seconds, no? So here we say open class, no? Then we have the class name. Again, we have the variables. In this case, the character requires has one parameter or one attribute, which is name. Take note, no? This is what we call a primary constructor. Meaning, whenever you create an object of character, it will always require you to have or to put or to add a value name. Okay? Tapos, lagyan natin ng konting another data or location colon string. Okay? So oops, sorry. Instead of location, I'll add birthplace na lang, no? So for those using RPG, sabihin natin may character tayo, yung character natin may birthplace. So in Kotlin kasi, in this case, we can set the get, no? Wait lang. Wait lang, I believe should be this, yeah. And then birthplace. Oh my God, I only have 1 more minute. Tapusin ko lang to. Matapos na tayo. This is the last file that I'll be showing. And okay. Wait lang. May error siya. Okay. Sige. So we have here a set and a get. Ayusin ko na lang siya later, no? So in Kotlin, by default, wala tayong get and set. When you declare a variable, automatically it inherits a set and get method. However, if you want to implement a specific get and set method, you need to use get, no? Tapos ayan, tapos set. Okay, I think I just need to sorry. So, yung set, pwede mong mamaya ayusin ko na lang to. I'll update the code, no? So you can create your custom get and set. For example, if you're retrieving data from a database, no, and you want to display data coming from a database, you can actually do it using here, dito sa get and set, if you want to customize your get and set. Now, okay, kanina, ito yung sabi ko kung ano, no, this is what we call a primary constructor, wherein whenever you instantiate an object, you use character, no? Ito, you need to provide a name. However, if you don't feel like doing that, you have the keyword constructor, followed by yung input parameter, colon, tapos you need to call the primary constructor by referring to this. No? This refers to ito, yung character, yan. No? Then pass it whatever value you want. Okay? So with this one, okay, yung constructor, it gives you a bit more, flexibility kung paano gawin yung constructor. Okay? Now, yung companion object, we don't have static variables or static keyword to be precise in Kotlin. If you want to have a static variable, static function, you put it inside a companion object. Okay? So, a static variable, parang regardless of what objects is accessing whatever is inside the companion object, iisa lang yung state niya. Anong value shared across yun. Okay? So, yun yung purpose ng companion object. It is, yun yung pumalit sa static. Now, I did a short sample of an inheritance here. One very important thing you should remember in Kotlin is that you can only inherit from an open class. Okay? You can only inherit from an open class. And the way you do it is yung open class, then the new object, no? Then we have the parameters for that object, colon, tapos ano yung naka-inherit na object. If you have multiple ones, you can add comma, no? Separate it using comma. So unfortunately, we don't have any more time. I'll just answer the remaining questions, no? I hope everyone had a good time and was able to learn, no? So as you can see, there's a lot more to discuss, no? Meron pa tayong pinaka bago ngayon, coroutines, no? It's a good discussion, especially if you're using Android. Ano ba yung coroutines? No? Why is it very lightweight and why is it heavily used compared to threads? Maganda discussion yun. So that's one more thing. Then we have a more complex delegates. We have more samples of apply with a lot more actually to discuss. So we have barely touched Kotlin in 2 hours. So I hope whatever I made here or discussed here, we have covered or will help you proceed with your Android learning Android. No? Again, Kotlin is now what you will be using for the Android workshops or Android content that you will be learning. No? Okay. Now, do I still have time? Can I still answer questions? Dan and Sai? Axel, do I still have chance to answer? Okay. So let's start with a few more questions. No? Please send your questions now. Okay. So first, no, paano po yung classes pag mag-call ka sa global? Kailangan declared package name po. For classes, I believe you don't need yeah. Wait lang. For classes, I think you don't. As long as it's defined, no? But if it's in a different within the same package, you don't need to call it. Pero pag nasa ibang package, you need to identify it. Okay, depende sa package, yes. So you need to identify the package depending on where it was called. Okay. Next. Wait lang. How do you call a non-static method sa main method sa Kotlin? Wala siyang void keyword. Okay, wala na yung concept ng static sa Kotlin. So, if you will notice, okay, in line ng, so, balik tayo dito, no? These are global variables. This is fun main. No? Look, we were able to call user input. No? We were able to call user input here. No? So, wala na yung term na static anymore. So, mas madali. Kasi sa Java, you need to call, static method can only call a static function, static method, static variable. Since wala nang ganun na rule, you can proceed with calling a non-static. Okay, wala nang tayong static. Okay? Next question. Sir, for using class and its variable names, dapat po ba na respective yung pag-call po sa kanila? I.e., magsusunod po ang pag-call sa println. I'm a bit lost for this one. For using a class and its variable names, what do you mean by variable names? Dapat po ba respective yung pag-call sa kanila? Kasunod po yung pag-call sa print. I'm not sure how to answer this one. Maybe can you rephrase the question so I can understand it more? Okay. For whoever asked this, please. Yeah. Next question is companion. So is companion object? I'm guessing companion object is also class level. Kasi sa Java, when you declare a static variable, it's not instance. No, it is a high level of or class level. In this situation, I have to double check. No, I'm not sure kung anong level siya. No, let me add that to my to-do list. That's a good question. Please visit the code again. I'll update this from time to time. I'll take I'm taking down notes. No, maganda yung tanong nyo actually. No? Let me, let just me, take note of that question. No? Sige. Next, we have here, do we have overriding sa Kotlin? Yes, we still have overriding. No? Unfortunately, kulang na tayo sa time. I'm no longer able to show additional codes. No? But yes, may overriding tayo. Okay. One last question, no, I'll be answering would be, should I learn Java first or Kotlin in terms of Android development? If you were to give us only one tip regarding our journey as developers, what would it be? Okay. Again, one thing that I emphasize, especially for beginners, is always learn, especially for Android, no? It is okay for you to learn a framework like Ionic, like, ano pa ba? Flutter for Dart, for others, no? The thing is, those frameworks still use the native one, which is running on Kotlin Android. So, to answer this, again, this will be my opinion. Please start using Kotlin for Android. So, for those who asking, kailangan ba mag-Java muna bago Kotlin? Not really. So, Kotlin in itself, you can learn it on without doing Java. The reason the reason Kotlin is related to Java is one, you can call Kotlin code in Java. No? This helps. The intention of doing that is to help people easily migrate to Kotlin. Okay. For the study jam, Okay? Ayun, so that's my tip. Now start with Kotlin, start learning Android using native. Okay? Yun yung I believe. That's what I believe. Actually, there's a shortage of Android developers in the Philippines. Kasi most people are now going for cloud, data science, and machine learning, and all of other technologies, no? And a lot more are used doing web and backend development compared to mobile. So for students, no, especially if you have a keen sense of for mobile development, or you are still undecided, please explore Android development or mobile development in general. Kasi ang laki ng opportunities, no? In our Facebook page, you will see there that ang dami naghahanap ng Android developers, pero wala silang nakukuha kasi kulang tayo sa Android developers. Okay? I hope I was able to answer everything. Dan, Kyra, I'm done already. For any more questions, please do not forget to join the Discord. You can answer. You can put your questions there. I'm there. I can answer your questions. No, just you can either tag me or no. Otherwise, you can go for you can add me on Facebook. It's Mac Valmores. No, you can add me there and ask me for questions, or you can go to Kotlin PH Facebook group or Kotlin PH Facebook page, no? Or you can join Philippine Android Developers Community Facebook page as well as Facebook groups. Okay, that's it for me. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your time and have a great weekend.
Thank you so much
All right.
for sharing
Thank you
your
so
knowledge.
much. Yes, thank you
Okay.
so much, Sir Mac, for being with us tonight, and yes, sharing your knowledge. And yes, guys, if you have any more questions or concerns regarding Kotlin, you may head to our Discord server and ping Sir Mac, and so that he can assist you. Also, you can add him through his Facebook, Mac Valmores. And if you haven't joined our Discord server, we have shown here our Discord link, so you can connect with other participants and grow your network.
Okay, all right. So to express our gratitude to Sir Marco Valmores, we would like to give this certificate of appreciation for his willingness to share time and expertise as a speaker in the Philippine Android Weekend 2020.
On behalf of the Developer Student Club's family here in the Philippines, we want to thank you once again, Sir Mac, for joining us here tonight.
So guys, how are you all doing? Sana naman hindi information overload.
And yes, remind lang guys to take a sip of coffee, stand up, and stretch your muscles. And remember na, code lang ang pwedeng i-develop, hindi ang feelings. Mahirap yon. Right, Fids?
Mahirap i-debug yung code.
Yeah, that's right. Also, someone told me, always name your variables properly. Siyempre, importante yung may label. Ikaw ba, sir? Meron ka ba ang hugot dyan?
Okay, so
Alright. Oh, I think we don't have Sir Mac already.
Okay, so again, thank you so much everyone for participating on our day one of the Philippine Android Weekend 2020. Just a reminder, if you have friends who missed this event, please do note that this live stream shall be uploaded to YouTube. We will be posting the link on our Facebook page and on Discord server.
And for our day two, I hope you're all excited to create your first Android application. And of course, an Android engineer shall talk about his mobile development journey. Thrilling, isn't it? If so, it's stay tuned tomorrow at 3 p.m. Still at our Facebook page, Developer Student Club Philippines.
Alright, so don't forget to have your Android Studio ready for tomorrow's session. The link will be provided in the comment section. Okay.
All right. So once again, thank you so much everyone for joining us with us here tonight. And I hope you learned something, or I hope you got inspired with Sir Mac's what do you call this, passion in Android development, and I hope someday you'll be one of the people who give talks and share your knowledge also to students.
Yeah. So also guys, if you are enrolled in a university where DSE where DSE is also existing, please don't hesitate to join for this future, workshops and seminars. So okay. Any more
So,
messages?
all right. Once again, we hope you had fun tonight and hope to see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for being with
Thank you so
us.
much. Yeah, bye
Thank
guys. See you
you.
tomorrow.